I woke up to sunlight creeping through my blinds, a rare moment of calm washing over me. For once, I thought today might actually be good. Peaceful, even. I'm Alex, just a regular 17-year-old trying to dodge the mess that life keeps throwing my way. The plan was simple. My best friend Sam was coming over later. We'd waste the day on some mindless TV show, laughing at bad plot twists. Downstairs, Mom was in the kitchen, humming an off-key tune I vaguely recognized. The smell of sizzling bacon drifted up, wrapping the house in a cozy haze. It felt almost too perfect, like the universe was dangling a carrot before yanking it away. Then the phone shattered the quiet. I ignored it at first. Probably some scam about car warranties I don't even own. But Mom snatched it up mid-hum, her voice cutting through the air. "She's what? Today?" she hissed, her knuckles whitening around the receiver. I shuffled to the doorway, peering in as she paced tight circles. No, it's fine," she said, but her eyes were darting like a trapped animal's. "Clara didn't even give me a heads up." She snapped to no one, slamming the phone down. She turned to me, her face a mix of panic and resignation. "Your Aunt Clara's coming. She'll be here any minute." My stomach twisted into a knot. Aunt Clara, the woman who could critique a saint into tears. I hadn't seen her in over a year, not since that awkward Christmas. Why now, out of nowhere? What was she dragging into our house this time? I forced a shrug, muttering, "Great. Just what I needed." Mom sighed, rubbing her temples. Aunt Clara swept in like a storm, her overstuffed suitcase thudding against the floor. It looked heavy enough to hide a body or a lifetime of grudges. "Alex," she said, her eyes raking over me. "Is that a shirt or a tent?" Her lips twisted into that familiar smirk, the one that made my skin crawl. I muttered something about needing water and bolted to the kitchen. The faucet ran cold as I gripped the counter, steadying myself. She hadn't changed, still a walking judge and jury. Sam showed up not long after, his messy hair and lopsided grin a brief lifeline. "Hey man, ready for our marathon?" he asked, tossing his jacket on the couch. I nodded, hoping he'd be my shield. "Wrong move." Clara zeroed in on him like a vulture spotting fresh prey. "Sam, still drifting through life?" she said, settling into a chair. "What's the dream? Professional couch potato? Or just leeching off your folks?" She sipped her tea, her head tilted smugly, like she'd just won a debate. Sam laughed it off, but I caught the twitch in his jaw. "Doing my best, Clara," he said, voice tight. Mom hovered nearby, trying to smooth the edges. "Clara, Alex is doing great at school," she said, her tone too bright, too brittle. Clara snorted, setting her cup down with a clink. "Great? I'd settle for passable. Standards must have dropped since my day." My fists clenched under the table, nails digging into my palms. Sam shot me a look. Stay cool, but I was already boiling. "Let's ditch this," I whispered, nodding toward my room. We escaped upstairs, and I slammed the door so hard the walls shook. "She's a nightmare," I growled, pacing the cramped space. Sam flopped onto my bed, smirking despite the tension. "She's a walking soap opera, dude. Bet she's hiding something juicy. Nobody's that bitter without a skeleton or two." I stopped mid-step, his words sinking in. A skeleton? What if he was onto something? I glanced at the door, half expecting dinner, was a minefield waiting to blow. Mom had made spaghetti, my favorite, twirling strands of comfort on the table. But Clara couldn't let it slide. "Carbs, Alex?" she said, her fork spinning like a weapon in her hand. Bold choice for someone who's already expanding. I shoveled a bite into my mouth, glaring across the table. The sauce was warm, but my blood was hotter. She leaned in, her voice dropping to a venomous whisper. "When I was your age, I had a job, a plan, a future. What's your excuse? Waiting for life to hand you a trophy on a silver platter." Her words hit like a slap, and something inside me snapped. I dropped my fork, the clatter slicing through the silence. "Maybe I don't want your miserable life," I shot back, my voice shaking with fury. The room went still, air thick with shock. Mom gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. Sam coughed into his napkin, barely hiding a grin. Clara's face flushed a deep, angry red, her eyes narrowing to slits. "You little—" she started, her chair scraping as she half stood. But I cut her off, rising to my feet. "No, you don't get to waltz in here and judge me like you're some perfect saint." My pulse hammered in my ears, drowning out Mom's plea. "Alex, calm down," she said, but I was already moving. I grabbed my jacket from the hook and stormed out, the front door banging shut behind me. The cold night air stung my face as I stumbled down the street. Mom's voice echoed faintly. "Alex, wait." But I didn't stop. My phone buzzed in my pocket, Sam's text lighting up the screen. "Dude, that was insane. You good? Call me." I didn't reply, my mind spinning too fast to focus. Why was she so cruel? I ended up at the park, slumped on a bench under flickering streetlights. The chill seeped through my jacket, but I barely felt it. My breath fogged in the air, curling like unanswered questions. Footsteps crunched on the gravel behind me, and I tensed until Mom's voice cut through. "Hey," she said softly, settling onto the bench beside me. We sat in silence for a long stretch, the world muted around us. Finally, she sighed, her shoulders sagging. "Clara's leaving tomorrow." I told her she crossed a line, a big one. I blinked, turning to her, my voice rough. "Seriously?" "Just like that?" She nodded, a faint smile tugging at her lips. "She's not as tough as she acts, Alex. Something's been eating at her for years, something she won't talk about. But that's her mess to carry, not yours." "Years?" The word stuck, sharp and jagged in my mind. "What kind of mess?" I pressed, leaning closer. Mom hesitated, her eyes distant. "I don't know the whole story. She shuts down when I ask. But it's big, big enough to make her run here without warning." My thoughts raced. Run from what? A fight? A mistake? Something worse? We walked home together, the quiet between us heavy with unspoken things. When we got there, Clara's door was shut tight. No snarky comments, no suitcase in sight. Sam was still lounging on the couch, a plate of cold spaghetti in his lap. "You're my hero, man," he said, grinning wide. "Bet she's plotting her next move, though. She's got that vibe." I smirked, but a shiver crawled up my spine. Maybe he was right. Maybe whatever she was hiding wasn't done with us yet. I glanced at her closed door, imagining the secrets locked behind it. For now, I'd won this round. Clara was leaving, but a nagging voice whispered in my head, "What if she comes back?" What if her past follows her next time? Tomorrow could wait, but I wasn't sure I could.